The 6 factors that make a medical business successful. That's our topic today. This is Doc Dynasty, a channel completely committed to keeping medical professionals independent. And I am Dr. Raval with 36 years of medical practice experience. So what are these 6 factors? Number 1, skill versus a niche. So when we get out of our medical training, all of us have a specialty, and that becomes our skill set. We've gone through the training and it makes us an expert. The difference is all your competitors are doing the same thing. An orthopedist, a neurologist, a podiatrist, whatever your specialty is, you want to identify yourself as someone who is that specialty, but does this better than anybody else. So that becomes your niche. So your niche is the one thing that you excel at. So as you're going through your training, you should be looking at that, but it can also be what you're passionate about, because what you're passionate about doing for your patients often becomes your niche because you end up doing it better than anyone else. You'll explore it more, you'll practice it more. So you need to figure out what that is, because your next step, number 2, is identifying that the problem where you can lend your expertise, your niche, and how to solve that problem better than anyone else. So number 1 and number 2, let me give you an example. When I was training to be a podiatric physician and surgeon, what I loved most was the sports medicine part of it. There was a practice that I worked with that had high-end athletes. I saw what people were doing on a day-to-day basis, the weekend athlete versus a pro-end athlete. And I wanted to be a part of sports medicine. Remember, this is 36 years ago, Nike was non-existent. So there wasn't really a sports medicine craze, but that's what I wanted to do. I identified a basic podiatry problem like a heel spur. And I started to look at how could I do this differently after working with many other podiatric physicians in their offices. And what I decided was I came up with a 5-step plan. And that 5-step plan always ended with an insole or a custom orthotic. And that way I could manage that particular problem better than anyone else. And as I worked for these physicians or worked with them, I decided to share what I thought, and we started to try it this way, and it worked. So that was my niche. That was what I was going to do better than anything else, and I was going to build that out so that anyone who came in, I could treat all these other things, but if someone came in with this problem, this is how I was going to treat it. Ultimately, it became not just about heel spurs, but plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, all of these were treated the same way, and you can do the same thing. Number 3, build a business plan around that problem that you solve better than anyone else. So if I decide I'm going to build this plan and I need orthotics, ultimately I have to get a lab. I have to know a turnaround time. I have to look at pricing so that I can make a profit. Those are 3 things that I need to do to make sure I can maximize that problem solving. And so you also have to do the same thing. It doesn't matter what specialty you are, you've got to figure out, if I'm going to do this from beginning to end better than anyone else, what are the things that I need to do? And that you then market that. You then build a business plan about doing everything better than anyone else here. And you'll find that that business plan becomes more than that niche. It becomes the business plan for your business. Number 4, you now market the hell out of that. You start with that and then you expand from that. So that means that I built from, hey, do you suffer plantar fasciitis? Do you suffer from heel spurs? Do you have Achilles tendonitis? Do you know that we offer this? We can solve that problem. Come in for all your foot problems, but we do this better than anyone else. All right. And nowadays, everyone has social media, much easier than back in my day. Market the hell out of it, whether it's social media free stuff. Make sure your insurance plans cover what you want to do, or come up with a private pay price, paid ads, and health fairs. You know, these are the 5 ways you can market yourself and market that issue better than anyone else. Number 5, optimize fulfillment. What does that mean? That means when you start your practice and you put 8 hours out there, you better be there for 8 hours. Whether you see 1 patient in that 8 hours, 3 patients in that 8 hours, you don't go out for lunch when you could have a patient in there. Optimize fulfillment. You're starting a practice. You need to be there, or your office manager can be there, but that office needs to stay open. It needs to have hours that are flexible for patients, not for yourself. Hire experienced staff. I can't say it enough. If you're only going to hire 1 person, make sure that they've worked for someone else, they're comfortable with technology, they've worked on computer systems and software, and they can do billing. Billing, you can always farm out, but it's always nice to have that. And be able, the third thing is be able to move a patient every 15 to 20 minutes. Practice, even when you have 3 patients, how fast can you move it? Because one day you will have 40 patients and you will use the same skill set. So optimize fulfillment. Hours, experienced staff, and be able to move a patient every 15 to 20 minutes. And lastly, if you've come up with this entire game plan that's successful, scale your business. Start a second office, hire another professional to run that office, and this is how you're going to run it. So those are my 6 ways of making a business that becomes successful and not overwhelming. Hope this is helpful. Of course, subscribe. Love to hear your opinions. And I wish every physician the kind of success that I was able to build and share with you guys.